Welcome, everybody. We're here to talk to you about the new vehicle that we just purchased yesterday. Richard, do you want to start off?
Sure. This is for men who want to provide a new vehicle for your family but don't want to pay for the loan, or anyone else who wants to be able to retire with some side income. All you really need to do is be able to do something you're already doing. And that's drive. It's fun and exciting. You get to meet people, and it's a great way to pocket a little extra change and drive a new car that you wouldn't normally be able to afford.
Awesome.
My name's Richard Fitzgerald, and we've been hosting cars here since 2022. And we started with one car, and now we've built up a fleet of about 8 cars. And
What do you do professionally, Richard?
I am a database administrator, been working in IT for 30 plus years and needed to start on thinking of something else to do. Plus being able to provide a car for a family. We have twins who were just starting to drive when they were graduating high school, and we wanted to be able to provide a safe, reliable car for them to drive, but I didn't want to have to buy 2 cars at the same time to provide all of these vehicles. So how was I going to be able to afford that? So we looked into providing rental our cars to for rent on the Turo platform. That allowed us to have cars to be paid for by someone else and have our kids be able to drive safe and reliable cars that are newer than having an old 20-year-old junker car, like
Aw-
the one behind me here, one of the cars that we have in our rental fleet.
Awesome. I'm Janice Bell, and I've been in real estate. Well, I started in biotech. That's my profession. I have a PhD in science, and I've been in the real estate field since I stopped working at a job. And so I rent out properties. And a lot of people ask me sometimes, the people in the real estate industry, how'd you get into the cars? And I said, well, it's really the same. Um, I am a
Oh yeah.
landlord for cars. So, and it's a little easier than real estate because the prices are smaller. So you identify the property or the car and you go get funding and then you rent it out in a smaller piece. You rent it out week by week, weekend by weekend, kind of like short-term rentals for real estate. So it's easier to get into and a lot less costly. In fact, what we're going to talk about is we just did it in one day. We researched it, we found the car we wanted, you went there, you finance it, you buy it, you're ready to go. In fact, today we'll take some pictures and get it posted up on Truro. You can't do that with a house. You probably can't go find it, finance it, and take possession in one day. So it's easy to get started on it. So and I like what you said about we didn't want old cars and repair bills because we did that ourselves when we were in college. We did that for our older son, and we were hoping to avoid all that hassle and just have nicer, more reliable cars. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
why we picked Turo. So
Oh yeah, definitely. When you have an older car, there's always going to be more repairs happening, especially with young teenagers who drive the car and may get into issues driving or having it break down on them and
then they
using up
call
all the
us.
AAA miles to get cars towed. So
Exactly.
to avoid those types of issues like we did before with our older son, going with newer cars does help. Having the to be able to have a outlay of, well, having to have new cars helps them and helps us with better peace of mind.
Exactly. And because they're drivers too, we have 4 drivers in the family, we can expand our fleet. It might be a little different if you're by yourself or if you have 2 people, then you'd have to, modify a little bit, figure out how many cars you want. So what did we do yesterday, Richard?
Well, yesterday we wanted to add another electric vehicle because we have found that electric vehicles don't require you to go to the gas station and pay exorbitant prices for gas to put in them. We can charge our electric vehicles, our EVs, a lot cheaper on a day-to-day basis than a regular gasoline car. So we decided to go look for a new car, to pick it up, to add to the cars that we have. And we decided we were looking for a particular car with a particular spec. And we looked around all of our county and we ended up going north up into LA to a place that had one that we liked. And we'll show you that in a couple of minutes.
Okay, okay. And so what was, I mean, I've been looking for Jeeps for a while because I thought it would be fun. I mean, after you kind of get the functional cars you need to run the business, I wanted, if I'm driving these around all the time, I wanted something that was fun. So I'd been looking for a Jeep, but something in the marketplace said we have to go to the next electric now. And what was that? Like, why did we decide we have to buy the next electric? Because of the market and because of the timing.
Right. The market's right for used cars. And we're not talking about an old used car. We're just talking about one that is used that has already been through its off the manufacturer's lot and had already had its major depreciation taken.
Mm.
So we're optimizing our return on income by utilizing cars that have already been depreciated a little bit to be able to allow us to afford it and still qualify as a new car.
Oh yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah. So what did we decide to do? So there's the market and then there's also some sort of timing that's happening right now.
Yes, for the EV that we decided on, we wanted to grab the benefits that the government has for electrical vehicles in applying a rebate of $4,000 to the vehicles, being able to cut a little bit off the top of the price of the car. And being also in California, California does provide, no, that's all right.
As the elect, we found out just driving up towards the dealer that our local electric company gives another $1,000 rebate.
Right. Our local electric company provides $1,000 rebate on
And some other
electrical
ones do
cars.
as well. Yeah,
Right.
PG&E, and we're the SDG&E, and there's a couple of other ones in California where the electric company provides the extra rebate. We have to apply for that after we bought the car, but what's the main federal one that we're using?
The the federal $4,000 rebate is uh, taken off at the top of the price so that it lowers the loan that we have to have, and it allows us to tack that, reduce that dollar value on the car.
Yeah. And guys, if you're not following this, because of the big, and I won't say beautiful or ugly, but the big bill that
Oh,
Congress passed and the president signed, those tax credits that we've been enjoying for probably the last, I don't remember, 5 years, 5 to 10 years, are going away.
mhm.
So I've had an electric car since 2014. I had a Leaf on a lease. Then when it got to be a better car, I went to the next Leaf and got a lease. And then I got a third Leaf. Now it finally had enough mileage on it. A Leaf Plus has enough mileage range of 225. So a couple years ago, 2023, we actually bought
Mhm.
it with financing. And that's when we put it on. We actually did this the first one as well. Um, we put that on Turo and started experimenting with our first car, which was an electric car. It was a Leaf. And so we've been doing this for a while. And so then we also bought a VW ID4, which is electric. So the new car rebates are the 7,500. It used to be any car, and then when Biden was in office, they changed it so they wanted to promote American made. So the battery in the car had to mostly be made in America. So that's when we got the ID4 and the Leaf Plus because at the time they were manufactured in Tennessee. So we have those in our fleet, and
Yes.
our son added another a Tesla from 2023, and that was also it was a good deal at the end of the year, and he got the rebate on that. So we put that in the fleet for him, and it pays us extra, and we just pay him what he needs to pay the loan, you
Pays
know,
the loan.
get
Right.
the loan paid off. And so we decided to go with the used rebate, which we haven't used before. The used rebate's only for 3 years. You can only use it once every 3 years. And it's going to expire September 30th. So that's 9 weeks away. Get it while you can. Um,
Right.
and we decided to use that. And that one really, I don't think it matters where it was manufactured because those older cars were manufactured before they did the update on that it had to be in America. So that doesn't matter as much. The $7,500 rebate for new cars applies to only ones made in the US, but I think the used one is any EV or plug-in hybrid. You can get that one. So it was plug-in hybrid or EV. So what did we decide to get? It's
And we
pretty
wanted
exciting.
to do that before those rebates were taken away via the new bills that are passing through Congress now.
Mhm.
And we decided to repeat what works. And what works as a rental on Turo in this case was our Tesla. And looking at the income that all of our cars make and graphing out which ones made the most money overall, it turns out that Teslas do rent a lot. People enjoy having one and being able to rent it for a weekend or a week, and they're continuously out with the
Mhm.
guest driver. Um,
And yeah, we
so,
wanted to take advantage of market prices because of what Musk was doing in the government since, February. A lot of people did not want to buy a Tesla. So the prices have come down. They've got a lot of incentives, and the prices on the used ones were down. So if you're going to use the used tax rebate, the original market price of the car has to be under 25,000 for the used, and then they take the $4,000 off of that. Now, some dealers try to add in a bunch of things to make it cost more so they can make more money. The dealer we went to, we didn't know till we got there, does a not a ceramic coating,
they do
which they
ceramic
charge you
coating.
for,
Mhm.
and they change the wheels. They put in new
And
wheels on all their Teslas so they can charge you for that too. I will say that what they charged us is less than if we got the wheels ourselves because we had priced that out. So it has 1 inch bigger wheels, and they're nicer looking than the wheels that came on the original car. So, and we
a
decided to
little
go
bit of
long
footprint.
range because
Mhm.
as cars are manufacturing now, they're making longer and longer ranges. So you don't want to be stuck on one on Truro that everyone says, well, I want my range to be over 300 miles while I'm, renting it for the week. And so I'm not going to rent yours because yours is less. So we were looking for something that the original mileage range is over 300 because that's the future of electric cars. So that was why
Right.
we made the choice.
Right. We need to look at how far cars drive. I don't think that we would be renting them to guests if they only drove 200 miles or less. It just doesn't
Right,
make sense for a lot of people to
right. Or
spend more
they're not
time
familiar with it. They don't.
charging than driving.
Yeah.
And
A lot of
here,
our guests go from San Diego up to Disneyland in Orange County and in LA County, and then they come back. So they want to be able to go. And they're not as familiar with charging as we are. We have solar on our house, so we can charge it, at home or use the chargers. Um, so, we wanted to buy a used car also because, like you mentioned before, Richard, significant depreciation happens in the first couple years. And so, in this way, by you buying a used car, we avoid that. We have bought some new cars because we wanted those new cars. We bought them because we wanted them. Um, and that after you do a few of those, you really do need some used cars to increase the benefit because, of course, you're paying less for the used cars that you're adding to your fleet. So we have a
oh,
pretty robust fleet. We have been adding to it since 2022. We added, when there was a car shortage during the pandemic or after the pandemic when there were no parts. And so we had to kind of buy what was ever. If you remember going by dealers, the lots were empty.
No cars.
We kind of bought whatever came in that would kind of fit most of our criteria. So how do you find the car that you want to buy? Are there some specific tips that we can give
Sure,
viewers? Yeah.
sure. There are, first thing, like anything else that you want to buy, you need to do your research. Find out what is out there available and what type of vehicle makes sense in your area where you will be renting cars, and what do guests want? Where's the demand? So what's available, what the demand is, and what your return will be are all factors in what you want to think about when you decide on what kind of car to provide. Are you going to be renting someplace where everyone drives a truck? Are you going to be renting in a small city or a big city that doesn't have parking? So you want a small car? Are you looking at a place that's near an airport and people come in and out all the time? All they need is basic transportation. So a lot of different factors come into play here when you're trying to decide on what kind of car. Get your foot in the door, get going first, and then build up from there. And then we'll talk about that in some later videos. Once we get to what is your real dream car going to be and what do you want to drive?
Mhm.
And that could be also what your guests would want to drive as well. And how do you get to that point is a series of steps that we need to take and follow.
Mhm. How do you check for Turo rental car prices in your area? Because you do the research a lot for that. How do you figure that out?
Now, definitely when you're looking into the car sharing application Turo, in this case, you want to look into Turo as a guest yourself. Look into what cars are available on a date into the future. So if you're looking into, say, 1 to 2 months in advance, to search up for vehicles 1 or 2 months in advance, and for a couple days span of how far you want to rent a car for 2, 3 days, 4 days, and select a car by what you think will be renting. Then the search mechanism will bring up all the cars that are available in your area and the type of car that you're looking for, whether it be SUV, van, sedan.
Mm.
Do a couple searches and find out what do you think looks good for you and what cars are out there the most. Are you going to see a lot of odd named cars, or are you going to see mainstream Chevrolet or Ford cars? What's out there in your
Hondas,
area?
right? Toyota, Honda.
Hondas everywhere, right? Toyota Celicas everywhere. So take a look at what is out there, what you would like to provide, and is there a demand for it? Looking at the cars in your results when you're searching for a car yourself, they will show you how often the car is being rented for. And
Mm.
it'll say it's been on 10 trips, it's been on 50 trips, it's been on 100 trips. By looking at the number of trips cars are have been taking in the past, that's a good gauge to say, well, there's a demand for that. If you see a minivan that's being rented for 100 days in its past being listed versus a two-door sedan sports car being only rented 10 days for the same span of time, then you say, well, okay, well, more seats in a vehicle makes sense in this case because
Mhm.
there's more of a demand for it.
Right, depending on your location. Are people renting in your town just because their car's in the shop? Are you in a vacation area where people are coming for vacation with their family? And then you mentioned going 1 or 2 months out. What if I just checked for next week? What would happen?
Right. If you're checking just for in the next week, time frame with any time within less than a month, less than 4 weeks.
Mhm.
Generally, what you'll be finding are cars that have not been rented out or haven't been reserved out yet. So it really wouldn't give you a good idea of what the total number of cars are available. You'll be only
I
looking
see.
at
Mhm.
cars that haven't been rented yet. So you wouldn't be able to see, well, which ones are popular.
Right. So when you do the search as a guest, you only see the cars that are still available that haven't been rented. And in our experience, a lot of rentals take place within 1 to 2 weeks. We do have people who are going on vacation and rent out into the future. But if you rent at least a month or two in the future, not rent, but search a month or two in the future, you'll see all the cars in your area that are available. So you might see 50 Teslas, you might see 100 Hondas, you might see 25 Jeeps. And this kind of helps you decide what's rare, what's common, and then also click on the person renting it, go to their profile. And if they have multiple cars of that type, that means that works really well for them and makes them money. If it's just one car hit and miss, it may not, it may just be something they like and not something that's consistently renting for them. So that's another thing
Mhm.
we look at is,
Right,
if it's
right,
a big host, how many of that type of car do they have?
right. A lot of times you'll find hosts that are out there renting vehicles that have 30 plus cars in their list. And a
Mm,
lot of them will be, okay, well, they got 5 Mustangs, or, they have, half a dozen trucks and or another half a dozen SUVs of a certain brand. You'll
okay.
be able to see that readily.
Mm. Yeah, and we wanted to, it was in one of the pictures that we posted to start the event, and you can find that picture. But we wanted to show you a quick walkthrough, walk around at least the car we have while it's still light outside. And so I think Richard was going to walk outside and then switch to his phone, and he can do a quick walk around and show you the car we did buy. So we did buy a used Tesla. It's a 2020. It's blue because our company's Blue Ocean Autos, so we want to have some blue cars in the fleet. So many cars these days are silver, white, gray. We don't like black because it's just really hot in San
Oh,
Diego.
hot.
Too hot because of the sun. So we don't like black cars.
In the
Everything
southern
else is fine.
southern part of the
Black
country,
upholstery, but it's the
it's
car. It just absorbs too much heat. You wouldn't want one in Arizona either. So we got a blue one. We got a longer range one because we wanted to go, extra range. And the a little bit older ones, it was 2020, it had the chrome on the handles, which we thought really looked good because there's chrome on the handles and aluminum wheels. So he's gonna pop back in and switch into this thing so he can use his phone and walk around with you. So we are going to be offering a new training on buying your first Turo car. It's going to start in the next couple weeks. And so to find out more about that training, you want to follow. Richard has a new Instagram business and Facebook page just specifically for this training. So it's called, I think it was on there, Truro Startup, right? What's the new Instagram page for the Truro training business, Richard?
Oh,
Truro Startup?
The Instagram is Turo Startup,
Okay. Okay.
and
So
we'll be
below
posting
this
videos
video,
there.
we will post a link or we'll post just the name of it because if it's Instagram, we can't post a link in the chat, but we can put the name and then you'll just have to type it in and find it. So there'll be some more training coming up in a couple weeks, and as we open up a training to help you guys get started. Because right now we have 9 cars on the platform. We're really enjoying it. It's a great business to have, and it covers us having nice cars that we want to drive. So go ahead, Richard, and show us the car that we just bought.
Sure. Behind me, we have our two Teslas right now. We were just shaking them down and charging them up. So we can go ahead and take a look at that and see how they look. Let me go ahead and switch around here. There we go. This baby here in the bright blue is our newest car. I hope that you can hear me okay.
Yeah, well, that sounds
And
good. I was going to say
okay,
they
good.
did the ceramic coating for us, which we had to pay for. But when you buy a used car, you do the ceramic coating yourself, saving us some money. And the other thing I want to mention now that you're on your phone and not at the desktop, that other car that was behind you is one we bought only a few months ago, and we bought it from a private party. And so buying a car from a private party, you don't have the markup that comes with a dealer, and you can go and do the title and registration yourself, which saves you some money. And it just had a lower price overall. So that white Acura, the reason we bought it is we wanted a car with 3 rows of seats. So it's now being rented a lot by families that are on vacation because they have 3 rows. It's either they have 3 kids and they have car seats, or they have grandma with them, or somebody. So we're enjoying having that third row without it being a minivan. You know, it's an SUV with a third row. So that's a fun car.
That's true. And on our new car here, we got lucky enough that we have our access stickers here in California. We have California's program for clean air vehicles on carpool lanes and shared. So we have stickers that were provided for that.
Yeah, so
That
you can
program,
drive in the
unfortunately, is
carpool lane
running
even
out.
though there's no one in the car with you. It's a single person can drive in the carpool lane. That program also expires the end of September 2025. So if you're watching this video later, you missed it, California. I don't know if they'll ever renew it,
Right.
but it was an incentive to get people to buy electric cars, and I guess they think the incentive worked because now they don't need that program.
Now here you see we have aluminum spoke rim upgrades on this car. It's nice and shiny because of the ceramic coating. We haven't washed it yet. Still need to do that and check it out. The inside is um, in a dark gray black interior, which is very clean and organized, very not messy at all, not very busy. It also has the full sunroof that you can see here, which goes all the way back to the back window and all the way toward the front window. So full sun. And from the driver's seat, we get a view like that. Of course, we have our sunshade up, so the front windshield is blocked.
Yeah, we do add at least seat covers in the front 2 seats because we just don't want too much wear on the seats while we have these newer cars. So we do buy aftermarket car seat covers. If it's a leather car, we just put it on the bottom. We don't put it on the back because that's what wears the most. So, but yeah, show us the other Tesla.
And here's the newer car that we purchased first, which is a 2023 Tesla, which has the stock aero rims on it. And being a newer car, they look about the same, but the trim is a little bit different. Where this they changed the door handles to be black instead of chrome, small features like that. Here you'll see it still has the same dark gray black interior, and of course the Tesla full moonroof.
Mhm. And we have a car seat cover in the back because sometimes we rent it out. People have car
Right.
seats and we don't want them to damage the
Husbands
seats.
and kids. Something nice to think about when you're renting your cars. We'll cover that in another video and in more detail as well. And here you also see the front seat covers um, that we have for the front seats.
Yeah, Teslas are pretty much the same inside. No, the model doesn't, the inside doesn't change that much year to year until they do a new redesign. But for now, that's what we get.
All right. So that's the old and the new Tesla that we have in our fleet. And you'll see this popping up in short time on our channel in different aspects. Well, when we take it around town, we'll give you a better view of it, a few more pictures. So remember to follow, share, and like our Facebook page and our Instagram account so you can see what's new with the cars.
Yeah, and start following Richard's new Instagram account with its the Turo startup. And because then you'll learn more from us where we're gonna be posting more content on there. Right now I'm posting to a lot of people that have followed me on real estate, but they're also interested in cars. So that's why you're gonna
Right.
see it on some of my real estate channels. So thank you, Richard. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
All right, bye now.
Bye.
Keep driving.